There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. You've got to let it go. You've got to let it all go. This is what you have to say. I release, I let it go. Let the Spirit of my life and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release, I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Let's say that one more time. Free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now one more time slowly. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Woo. Thank you. Woo, well, after a costume change, I think I need a drink of water after that. That was something. Oh, my goodness. So, free, word of the day, free. We've been talking about this amongst ourselves, about some things that are happening in our world and how freedom is kind of an important thing. I loved the daily word today, and I think that the title of that was, I am free through my awareness of God. That whole song was about freedom, right? I'm free in the Spirit if I can recognize that God is there. And you know what? It's interesting how the word free has changed over my life. I'm remembering back in the day when I was like a kid, right, going to school. Now, my mother was a kindergarten teacher in the same school district where my sister and I went to school. We went to West Carrollton, if you're familiar with the Dayton area, right? And in the wintertime, the really cool thing was, since Mom was a teacher, if we had inclement weather, the phone would ring right before our alarm clocks would go to tell her that school was closed. Oh, we loved that because you'd hear the phone ring, and my sister and I from our bedrooms, you know, we were like, oh, please let that be, let that be. And then we'd hear Mom kind of mumble something, and she'd hang up. She'd say, no school today. And we'd all go, yay! And then go back to sleep, right? Because that's what we did as kids. But that was free. That's what freedom was for me back then. And then I went to college, and free became being able to take my laundry home from the dorm and come back home and to be able to use the washer and dryer without having to put the quarters in, right? That was free. That was the definition by college. But then I got older, and it was like free meant free from fear and free from pain and free from judgment and free from disorder in the world. And I started to appreciate my freedoms and what was available to me, and being able to live my authentic self and to be me and to not live in fear and to be accepted wherever I was. And that became such a important right, my civil rights, our rights, and the freedom to live. And that's really kind of became a little bit different now. Now I feel as though there's times that I'm challenged. It used to be so easy, and now I feel as though the mountains have gotten just a little bit higher, and the obstacles are a little bit more hazardous. And the challenges seem to come a little bit more frequently. Is that just me? Are you sensing that? And I just, and I'm realizing that, oh my gosh. And I can get down into that muck of, oh, you know what? This is getting hard. This is getting difficult. And I don't know if I have what it takes to actually traverse this journey. Do I have that? And I'm reminded of the challenges that we have in our lives. And I'm wondering, is there anyone in here who's experienced a challenge in the past, I don't know, year? Anyone? Oh, I'm not the only one. So we've all had challenges. So it's interesting. It's like, how do we face our challenges? What do we do with them? And I might have shared this story with you before, and if so, I apologize, but it's one that I share with my police recruits in the academy all the time, where I talk about frustration. And just the other day, I'm in a construction site. And now being from Ohio, I'm sure many of you can relate to this, that I was told as a kid that there are two seasons in Ohio. There is winter and there is road repair. And so as a kid, I'm thinking, well, so that means that every city has one garage, and we can park the snow plows there in the summer. We use them in the winter, so the barrels can all go in the garage. But then when the snow season is over, we've got to park the snow plows, so the orange barrels have to come out. And let's just place them along the roads because there's no place to store them. And so that's what we do. And I thought that's got to be what's happening, because I swear there's always something that's under construction. I don't know how this happens, but that clearly we need to build more garage space so we can store those puppies and not have to drive around them all the time. But the reason that this is such a frustrating thing for me is because when we have those construction sites, it brings out the worst in fellow drivers, doesn't it? And I got to tell you, this is my pet peeve. It really is, because we're driving along on the highway and someone has put a sign up to tell us that a lane is gonna close. It's, half a mile away, we're gonna do this. There's no surprise. This is happening. And then maybe a quarter mile up, another sign. You know what? Just in case you didn't read, you might have been reading your phone and missed it. Here's another one. And then when you get even further up, they've planted a truck with a lit arrow. Get over. We really mean it. And so we all do, don't we? We do that zipper thing, right? Where we get in and we do our thing. And then there's this one guy. Have you seen him? Not just me? Okay. Now, I got to admit, I have seen on Facebook that there's some discussion now on when is the proper time to zip in the zipper. And some people think that they should go all the way up to that pinch point and then zip in. Now, I will say this, that would be true if everyone was already doing the two lines and then we zip there. But if you've approached an already single line, the zip already happened. Don't play the I'm going to teach you how to zip and then butt in. That just doesn't work for me. And so if you're like me, I'm not proud of this. I'm riding the bumper of the person in front of me, right? Not making eye contact. I'm not looking at you, not looking at you. You know what you did. You get back there. But there'll be that one person that'll be like, let him in. I'm like, what did you do that for? Now I am a 0.0005 seconds later because that car got in front of me. You know what I could have done with that 0.005 second time, I don't know, but it's the principle of the thing, right? And my head, I start thinking horrible things about this person. You know, I bet he kicks puppies. I bet he has overdue library books that he has no intention of returning. There's all kinds of things that I think. And so then what happens in my body? Our body is hardwired to either fight or flee, right? We have that fight flight thing. This is a primal thing. We can't stop it from happening. And the chemicals start to flow, that cortisol from the adrenaline. Okay, we're going to fight or we're going to run away. Well, you're not going to do either one in your car. You're just going to sit. And so all of this stuff came up, and then it just has to like reabsorb into your body, right? And it's toxic. This is high blood pressure. This is hypertension. This is cancer. This is ulcers. This is all kinds of things because we've got ourselves worked up and then couldn't run and couldn't fight. What if we changed the story? What if, and this is something I've started practicing doing, is I make up a different story about this guy. And all of a sudden it's, you know what? His wife's in labor. 2 weeks early, he was at work. She's in the emergency room right now because they're probably going to have to do a C-section, and she might not even survive the surgery because it's a difficult pregnancy. He wants to see her before she goes into surgery so he can kiss her and tell her one last time that he loves her. You think I'm going to let him in at that point? Heck yeah, buddy, go, good luck. I hope she's okay. And what happens? Endorphins. I helped somebody. Endorphins are the chemical that now takes over and undoes all of the cortisol that would have been there. I'm going to live longer with endorphins. I'm going to have a lower blood pressure with endorphins. This is good stuff. This is the good chemical that we want in the body. Now, am I ever going to know the real story of the guy in the car that butted in? Probably not. But I can decide how I want my body to react to that. Yes, God. Oh, is he phoning in? Is it? Okay. Might be the guy in the car that said, my wife made it. Everything was fine, by the way. So, whew, we did it. Yes. Oh, my goodness. What I find interesting is I do believe that we have the power within ourselves to be able to do this. We can come up with our own thoughts. I know there's an analogy of the acorn. The acorn is actually the seed that produces the oak tree, the mighty oak tree. Everything that needs to be put in place for an oak tree is all found within that tiny acorn. Doesn't need anything else. I mean, yeah, it needs rain, it needs sun, it needs soil, but all of the DNA is in that acorn to become this magnificent thing. You think that maybe Spirit also put everything that we need inside of us? We keep looking outward. Where am I going to find the answers? Maybe we've had them all along. Now, recently, excuse me, I hate to swallow and have that microphone on at the same time, but that's the problem of being strapped to your microphone. I am currently going to school studying to become a counselor. And one of the things that I have recently become certified in is called EMDR. And that's eye movement. Some of you, I see some knowing nods. It's a kind of therapy, and it's eye movement desensitization restructuring is what those letters stand for. And basically what it is it deals with trauma, and it is connected to what is called REM sleep. You know, when you sleep, that there's a time that your eyes do this rapid eye movement. So the theory behind EMDR is that when something traumatic happens, like say you're in a car accident or something out of the ordinary, that you don't really get that good night's sleep to get the REM sleep. Now, what REM sleep normally does when you're sleeping is that it kind of does a rerun of, okay, everything that happened today. Okay, Mary Jane had a birthday, so we're going to file this over here to make sure I put that in the calendar. So-and-so did something nice for me, and I need to make sure that I give them a thank you card, so that'll go into that file, whatever. So we're basically looking at all of the activities, and the brain puts that in the correct filing cabinet, so it's all nice and neatly tucked away. With trauma, if we don't have that rapid eye movement, the memory gets stuck in the frontal lobe. It stays right here, and we don't actually get to file it. Now, what does that mean in real life? What that means is when we remember that trauma, the emotion is still attached to it. So if you're thinking of that car accident that happened last month and you still go, that means that it's still here and it hasn't been tucked back here. So what EMDR does is it actually has you watch a light bar go back and forth as you're thinking about the incident, and it will pop it back into the storage, into the file cabinet where it needs to go. So that way you still have the memory, but the emotion is no longer attached to it. So that basically, not to go down that rabbit hole, but that's how EMDR works. So I've actually had the opportunity to experiment with some of my kids because, you know, I'm the den mother to police officers. And some of them have experienced some stuff that they've seen and they're not sleeping. One poor kid had only been on the street for probably 3 weeks, I believe. And he saw his first suicide victim. And he had to stay in the room with this person for about an hour and a half, waiting for the detectives to come and to do all of the things in the photos. And there was music playing in the background, and that music became a trigger for him, that anytime he would hear that music, it would take him right back there, and he could not sleep, and he was just really struggling. And so we went through, just with hands, did the EMDR session. And after about 20 minutes, he came up with the answer of, you know, there was nothing that I could have done. I'm not at fault for this. It was unfortunate that it happened, but it did. And I did everything that I could. And all of a sudden he could sleep. All of a sudden he can hear that music and it no longer bothers him. But what I found interesting, and I thought proof positive of what we're talking about, is I didn't tell him any of those things. He already knew and discovered it for himself. We just got to get your main thought out of the way so your brain can process, I'm okay. I did everything that I could do, and to actually let that go, I release and I let go, right? And so that tells me that we have what we need inside of us. We are the acorn. There's nothing that we need to get from outside of us. So I think that's really, really important. I guess the real question is, what is it that we are focusing on? What is it that we're putting into our psyches on a regular basis? Are you binge watching horror movies? Are you spending too much time watching cable news, which is sometimes the same as a horror movie? It's getting they're zippering a little bit. Or are you taking time to fill yourself with other things? What are the things that you're doing? Now, one of the ways that I would like to encourage you to self-care is the type of music that you're listening to, right? Music can really penetrate. I always say that music bypasses the brain, goes straight to the heart, right? And so depending on what you're listening to is going to determine what are you carrying. And so, for example, I'm going to confess, when I was probably in college and was having a bad day and was feeling down, I would listen to Barry Manilow. Nothing against Barry Manilow, but there was one particular song that I would listen to that is just extremely depressing. And I'm going to sing a little bit for you, but not the whole thing, because I don't want to put that on you. But I want you to just to hear the first verse of it, right? It's a song called Lay Me Down. And another reason that I love this song is it's an excellent example if you want to be a songwriter. You want as few words as possible to be able to explain things and to set the scene. And Barry Manilow is a master at this. This particular snippet that I'm going to sing for you is only 33 words, and yet I think you're going to sense what he's talking about. So I won't even play guitar with this because I don't want to reinforce it. I just want you to hear just a little bit. All right, it's like this. Got dust on my piano and dishes in the sink. Your side of the bed is cold. I haven't slept a wink, so I read your goodbye letter to the face inside my drink. Lay me down and roll me out to sea. I'm going to stop right there because you see where it took you? That was 33 words plus the little tagline there, which is actually, I guess, the chorus technically. Could you picture? In 33 words, we knew that this guy, okay, he's clearly not well. He's not taking care of himself. The house is a mess, so we know he's not doing that. He maybe ate, but if he did, he left the dishes there. Somebody is gone, somebody important because they shared the bed together, and it's not just left on vacation. There was a letter, not even a face-to-face goodbye, never going to see this person again. He's so distraught that he can't sleep, and now he's drinking. 33 words. It only goes downhill from there, just by the way. It never actually, you're just like, oh man, but it yeah, but. So you can listen to that kind of music, but then what kind of mood does it put you in? That's the question, is just, what are we feeding ourselves with? So I want to give you a different example. And this is one that I've done many, many times here. It's one of my favorites. And it's, of course, it's by my great mentor, Kermit the Frog. And and you know which one I'm singing, as I'm wearing green today, right? Because as you know, Kermit is a frog, and Kermit is green, and apparently that's hard to be green. Now, as an outsider looking in, I did not realize this. Green is a perfectly good color as far as I can see. However, I have not had to walk in those shoes. So there's a problem to always blend in, right? So let's dissect this song just a little bit and show you how this is a type of song that might start low, but then it's going to pull you out of the funk just a little bit, right? It's not like Barry Manilow, which, by the way, again, I don't want to dog Barry Manilow because, he wrote I Write the Songs, right? That was a huge hit in the 70s, right? I write the songs that make the young girls cry. And okay, well, no, that's not good. He did Copacabana, right? Although a guy dies in that one. So, you know what? Let's forget Barry Manilow. Let's move on to Kermit. Yeah. Golly, Barry, I never realized now as I'm analyzing you now. So how many of you had a speech club or a speech and debate team in your high schools? I don't know if they still have those or not, but and I was not part of it because I was in like everything but that at school. But my understanding is you would learn both sides of an argument, and then the competition, you'd have to have a championship version of your argument, but you wouldn't know until you got there which side you were on. So you'd have to know each side. Yeah. Isn't that a great concept? Shouldn't that be mandatory for like everyone? I don't know. I digress. Kermit does that on this particular song. He's going to start low, but then he's going to kind of argue the opposite side of it, and then watch how this works. So it starts with a verse, which is going to be the downside. It's not easy being green, spending each day the color of the leaves, when I think it would be so much nicer being red or yellow or gold, something much more colorful like that. It's not, we're on second verse here, still down. It's not easy being green, seem to blend in with so many other ordinary things. People tend to pass you over because you're not standing out like flashy sparkles on the water, stars in the sky. Do you hear that note? All of a sudden it went into a I have a different thought, and I'm going to change the melody here. We're going to go into something I think would be referred to as a bridge. I don't think it's a chorus, but we have a different melody and a different idea. So now we're going to argue the opposite side of being green. And you'll notice how he does that. But green is the color of spring. Green can be cool and friendly like. And green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. Hear that note? Probably going to go back the other way now, aren't we? So we're going back into a verse. So we're going to start back to, however, if green is all there is to be, it can make you wonder why. Now we're going to have an epiphany. But why wonder? Why wonder? Affirmation. I am green, and it'll do fine. It's beautiful, and I think it's what I want to be. With a standard amen at the end there for that particular chord progression. So we've started from low. We kind of contemplated pros, cons, but then had the epiphany. So if you are in that low mood and you're not ready for like Pharrell's Happy, we're not in that mode yet, but we need to pull ourselves out. Something like this that starts low but transforms you can pull you into a different space, a more hopeful place. Again, what tunes are you listening to? Who are you hanging out with? And what are you doing? I love the frog, by the way. That's a great slide. Where was I? Okay. So I don't want you to think that this is a Shelleyism, although it is a Shelleyism, but it's not an original thought. This actually first appeared in the Bible. I know, what? It's crazy. So there's a verse. Yeah, it's this one here. It's Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Focusing on the good stuff. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Your choice, your decision. Where are you focusing your attention? What are you filling your cup with every day? Now, before any of you start thinking, wow, Chelley knows the Bible. No, Chelley does not know the Bible. It's not like you give me a topic and I can suddenly come up with a Bible verse that matches that. No. In fact, the only reason that I know these words is because my dear friend Kim Char Meredith wrote a song using these words, and I did not realize that. I've been a backup singer for Kim Char for a number of years, and I have sung these words as song lyrics, so I know them fairly well. Imagine my surprise when I called Reverend Kathy at one point, a couple years ago. My mother had passed away, and I needed a Bible verse for her memorial service. Not knowing the Bible, I'm like, what would you recommend? Because there's going to be some Bible people in the crowd, and they're going to think that it's not a real funeral unless you quote something from somebody from a long time ago. So she said, well, you use this one, look it up, it's a good one. And I looked it up and I thought, that's Kim Char's song lyrics. How did they know that she was going to write that song, and they put it in the Bible so many years before? Now, granted, Kim tried to explain to me, no, Chelley, I actually borrowed that from the Bible. Oh, okay. I thought, man, they're really good if they already knew what she was going to write years and years ahead of time. So with this, and actually, I'm going to sing this for you, and we have the lyrics, I think, up there for a sing-along. It's I think upon these things. I think I've sung this one for you once, too. Get the right song up here. I know it's here somewhere. Right. Think upon these things. Here we go. All right. Yeah, there's my pick. I found it. Okay. My thoughts create the world I'm living in. The word takes shape in the form I'm giving it. Do you want to try to sing that one with me? We'll do that again. Here we go with my thoughts. My thoughts create the world I'm living in. The word takes shape in the form I'm giving it. So whatever is pure, whatever is right, whatever is beautiful in God's sight, whatever is good, whatever is kind, whatever loveliness I find. Oh, I think upon these things. 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 Try it again. My thoughts create the world I'm living in. The word takes shape in the form I'm giving it. So whatever is pure, whatever is right, whatever is beautiful in God's sight, whatever is good, whatever is kind, whatever loveliness I find. Oh, I think upon these things. 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 There you go. Thank you for singing. Woo. Get rid of this. So yes, so what are we choosing? What is it? We have the power to decide. And I'm reminded of a story that my father loves to tell. I'm sure it's a true story. All of my dad's stories are true. I'm sure of that. So it's about a family that is moving to a new town. And they come to the outskirts of the town. They stop at the gas station, and it's one of those places that they actually have people working at the gas station. Remember those back in the day? You didn't have to pump your own. And they ask the guy there at the gas station, you know, what kind of place is this? You know, tell us a little bit about the town that we're moving to. And the guy asked back. He said, well, tell me about the town where you came from. And I said, oh my gosh, we had great neighbors, and you know, everybody knew everyone. It was like one big family. We'd have gatherings every month. We'd meet at different people's driveways, and it was just wonderful. And the man said, well, you're going to find that it's just like that here. That's great. A little while later, another family comes in, you know where the story's going, and all of a sudden they're asking the same question because they are also moving here. And they said, you know, what's this town like? And again, he asked, what's it like where you came from? Like, oh, well, it was horrible. We had just infighting. Everyone hated each other. They're throwing trash in each other's yards and backstabbing each other. And the man said, well, that's pretty much what you're going to find here. What are you bringing to the party? Right? What are you looking for? Where are you putting your focus? That's the key. It's up to you. This is, I think, the bottom line for me is basically it's going to be that our thoughts create our world, and I am free to make that decision. I choose cortisol or endorphins. I'm going endorphins all day long. My choice. My choice. So at this time, I want to bring up Leslie, Bobby, who all is singing on this. I want to kind of go into meditation from here because I want to take this idea and I want to let it sink in, right? So I want to go ahead and do our thoughts or prayers. If you all would join along with us and do that. Is it just us? It's just us chickens. Okay, that's good.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher pure consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Thank you. So I kind of think of it as we are Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. We've had those ruby slippers on the entire time. We didn't know what the power was. They've been there all along. Everything that you need is within you. So right now, I want you to sit back and relax. If you're comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. And take a deep breath in. Slowly let out the stress in your neck and shoulders. Chances are your shoulders were up by your earlobes. I want you to let that go. That seems to be where we carry our stress, is neck and shoulders. So just relax. Take another deep breath in and slowly allow your body to sink into the seat. Know that it is supporting you. You don't have to do a thing. Take another breath in and slowly allow your mind to open to all that is possible in your world. Remembering that we are whole and perfectly made by Spirit. And the answers we need are already inside of us. If we're just still and listen. In the silence is the answer. In the silence is all I'm after. Be still and know. Be still, my soul. I'm not waiting on divine. Divine is always here. I am waiting on my heart and mind to be open, to be clear. Be still and know. Be still, my soul. And breathe that in. You are whole. You are perfectly made. Everything you need is inside of you. So listen to that voice in the silence. And when you're ready, slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring yourself back to this space. And remember, you can tap into this power anytime you wish. In the silence is the answer. In the silence is all I'm after. Be still and know. Be still, my soul. And welcome back. Take a deep breath and bring yourself back into this room. And I believe we have an affirmation for this day. Pretty short, pretty self-explanatory. Let's say this together. I am free to choose how I experience the world. Let's say that again. I am free to choose how I experience the world. I love that. And it is so true. Don't give up your power. You've had it all along, Dorothy. You can do this. And now, the light inside of me, of all of the goodness, and all of the wonderfulness that I have, sees, recognizes, and appreciates the light, the love, and the wonderfulness in each and every one of you. Namaste.